You smoke crack, don't you? Crack. Terrible drug. Insane. Causes insanity, literally. Here are 5 things you need to know about crack. Let's get into it. K-Rugs, the Sober Dog, coming at you. Before I get started, remember, Soberdogs does not promote or condone any drug use. These videos are for educational and informative purposes only. 5 things you need to know about crack. Number 1, it is rare for somebody to be a casual crack user. We all hear, a lot of us have heard stories, and I know a couple people who will smoke every couple months, once in a while at a party, once in a while when they get a big paycheck, and that's it. They stop after a weekend and they don't do anything for 3 or 4 months. That is exceedingly rare, extremely rare. 99% of people will not be able to do that. It is an unbelievably addicting drug. The vast majority of people, once they start, it takes some type of outside force to stop them. Run out of money, get arrested, rob somebody, get robbed, like something crazy to happen, or just a total emotional rock bottom come down. It's rare. But the reason some people can do it here and there versus drugs like heroin is there's not that much of a physical withdrawal from crack as there is from opioids. So somebody can do it for a couple days and not have an extreme physical come down. Like with heroin, you're going to be in flu symptoms. But crack, you won't have that. You'll have a lot of mental come down, but not physical. Number 2, the high from crack is substantially more powerful and quicker than powder cocaine. Once they get in the brain, they cause the same effects, yes, but they're drastically different. And it's the same with injecting cocaine. Somebody who has snorted cocaine, it's very, I don't recommend it to anybody, but that is very different than smoking crack or shooting cocaine. The high is so much more powerful and so much quicker. It causes all the high that's happening when somebody snorts cocaine is just all pushed into a smaller, more powerful window with crack, which makes it way more dangerous because the high is way higher and it goes away way quicker. It's very different. Yes, they're the same drug, but the high is very different. Number 3, users are constantly chasing that first high. This is why somebody who's using crack is always smoking. If somebody who is, an addict, a crack addict, if they have the money and the resources, they are constantly smoking. They could be sitting at a table and some people 5 minutes, some 15, but they will just constantly just be smoking until it is gone. They are constantly chasing that high. Every time they smoke, within 8 to 10 seconds, they're getting their high. That peak high is lasting a minute, maybe 2. Then they get a little high for, 5-7 minutes. And then they're right back to trying to get back to that high because the come down's starting. Also, they usually don't find that first peak high, so they are just chasing it forever, realistically. You're just always trying to get back to those peak high states, which are harder and harder to get because you're causing more and more damage to your brain. This leads right into number 4. Versus other drugs, crack users will get high substantially more often. You might have seen it with people, if you've ever been to a party or something, people are doing cocaine. Every 20, 30 minutes, they want more. Same thing with crack, down to every 5, 10 minutes. Versus opioids, painkillers, even weed, people can have as much as they want. They might not want to just keep doing it every 5-10 minutes because the high lasts longer. With crack, every 5, 7, 10 minutes, they want more and more and more. I remember this myself. If I had it in front of me, I'm doing it. As soon as that 7-8 minute mark comes and the high's going down, I want another one. I want another one. I want another one. And when it runs out, oh boy, that come down is brutal. Number 5, crack will cause severe long-term damage to the reward system of your brain, specifically dopamine. Every time we take a hit of crack, our brain is getting flooded with this artificial, extremely high amount of dopamine. Then we keep using more and more. Now, normally that dopamine replenishes itself. The brain goes back to a state of equilibrium until the next dopamine thing, the next happy event. With crack, we're flooding it with outside artificial chemicals, way more levels of dopamine than any natural event or natural happiness. And it's not just going back to a state of equilibrium after, it's messing with that reward system permanently. This is why people who are, used crack for 5, 7, 10 years, 20 years, whatever, when they get clean or sober, it takes them years sometimes for their brain to get back to a normal state of enjoyment. They have done so much damage to the reward system, they find it hard to get pleasure in normal events that we would all get pleasure in. This definitely happened to me for a while. It took months for my brain to start experiencing happiness from normal events that brought me happiness in the past. Spending time with family, spending time with a significant other, having sex, eating chocolate, petting a puppy, exercise, all these things that normally make us feel good. That reward system's just a disaster after long-term crack use. We need to give it time to rebuild. The good news is, if and when somebody gets sober, it will rebuild, but it takes time. All right? That's some of the most important stuff you need to know about crack cocaine. Again, Soberdogs, myself, do not promote or condone any drug use. Please seek professional medical help if you have an addiction. If you want to know what crack is like, all in detail of everything about the drug, check out this video. All right? K-Rugs, the Sober Dog, and I'm out. See ya.